Can you just clear up one of the things? When I last spoke to Lord Pearson, he said, my ambition is for UKIP to do well enough at the next general election so that we can force a hung parliament and realignment of British politics. In other words, he didn't want to see a Conservative government. Is that still the case?
Well, it makes almost no difference. Look, I mean, you know, what's been hidden under the carpet, and we saw it yesterday with the debate on immigration yesterday afternoon, is there are massive policy areas where there is an agreement between the three tired old parties not even to talk about the issues. The fact is, most of our laws are now made in Brussels. We are voting in this general election for a change of management, not for a change of government.
But if you were given that choice, surely, because of the history of the parties, you are closer in thinking to the Conservative Party than you would.
Well,
would you rather see a Labour, Liberal?
Well, David Cameron has abandoned the Tory party policy on fishing and taking back our fishing grounds, and he said he will not have a referendum in the course of the next 5 years, and he never wants to have a referendum on our membership of the European Union. It's difficult to see how the country would be any better off under David Cameron.
So you are going for that hung parliament?
If we have a hung parliament, if we have electoral reform, there will be a realignment of British politics, and there will then be a major political party that people who believe in our sovereignty, who believe in controlling our borders, will be able to vote for.
Now, in the manifesto, you've called for a freeze on immigration, and we had the debate yesterday. But in that debate, if I'm right, you said you wanted to issue 250,000 work permits to foreign workers. So that's not a freeze on immigration. I didn't understand.
Well, at the moment, we have about 1.6 million foreign workers here from the EU alone. So that would be a massive reduction of foreign workers.
It's not a freeze, is it?
No, can we please get this straight?
Yes.
There is a difference between going to another country to work and settling, taking a passport and becoming part of the social security system.
So you would still have the work permits in that sense?
I want British people to work in Paris and I want Parisians to work here. Of course I do. Let's do this on a sensible, reciprocal basis. But we can't say to the whole of Poland, if you want to come here, bring your children, you can all be educated, you can use the health service.
Yes,
we simply can't do that.
Although we, obviously, as part of the EU, they can, but you are proposing...
Which is precisely why we shouldn't be part of the EU.
No, well, that's obviously your view.
Well, it's ours, but it's also what the country thinks, too.
Now, what about your response to the UKIP candidate? Now, Glenn Tingle, who's standing in Norwich North, said we should blow up Iran and described Afghans as backward. What do you say about those remarks?
I don't know anything about them. Listen, we have 560 candidates out there, and it's the same for the Labour. It's the same for the Labour Party, and it's the same for the Tory Party.
And they've had some
You're always going to get the old one that'll say something that is not strictly along party lines, and as the least politically correct party in Britain today, we're bound to have this sort of thing.
So you disassociate yourself with those remarks and with that candidate?
I don't know that he's made those remarks, but if he has, they're not very wise.
Now, what about you as leader of UKIP? Is that going to happen? I know, but are you going to come back and be leader of UKIP?
That's not my immediate plan. My immediate plan is to contest Buckingham tomorrow and see how I get on. Malcolm Pearson, I know he's been criticised because he's not a sort of cardboard cutout modern political leader.
No, you can't accuse him of that, can you?
No, and he's actually had a successful career in the real world. He's as honest as the day is long, and he's putting the party on a very good footing.
Now, just coming back to the hung parliament issue, what about deals? I mean, everybody's talking about deals. Let's say there are candidates and there are MPs, UKIP MPs. Yep. All right, you don't want to see a Conservative government, but what about working with them? If they were the largest party, would you be prepared to do that?
Well, of course, if they were saying some sensible things, we'd work with them, just as we work with Labour if they were saying some sensible things. Look, the price of UKIP MPs working with anybody would be that the British people get what they say richly deserve, a full, free and fair referendum, so that they can decide their future, not have it decided for them by career politicians.
Nigel Farage, thank you.
Thank you. To find out more about who we are and what we stand for, go to the UK Independence Party website at www.ukip.org.